Hello.
Welcome back. It's Monday.
Hello.
It is Monday.
It is Monday, yes. That you got right.
Vector.
It's
Hello,
Monday.
Everyone.
I'm in that mode where I don't want to paint anything.
Well, we got some nice comfy chairs for you. In the event that you don't want to paint anything.
Like, I just kind of don't want to paint anything. I don't know why, but I just don't want to paint anything. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why.
Well, hello everyone. I hope you had a good weekend. Happy Mondays to you all. I hope your Monday is getting started off to the right tune.
Everybody have a good weekend?
I hope so.
Looks like our chat is working in both places today.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Don't
thank
say
goodness.
anything about it. Don't say anything about it. Don't taunt it.
Well, that would be about right, actually.
Don't taunt it.
Alrighty.
Paint Brewer doesn't want to paint. Hey, we all have those days, T. Schmid.
Been there.
I'm just not finding
Happens.
anything sitting on my desk that really is speaking to me. You know? I've had a really rough day. And my rough day needs some relaxation in here. And I don't know. I want to find something that's kind of relaxing and not tremendous. So I guess I'll just keep painting on Goat Boy. Just keep painting Goat Boy. See how we like it.
Alrighty.
Steal the mouse from me real quick.
Jade, your last day of PT, like physical therapy?
That's good.
Wanderer, you're in the same boat, having a hard time finding something good to paint?
I got too many models.
Is that what you're saying?
So I have lots of awesome stuff. None of it is really speaking to me.
You do have lots of projects.
I
if
have
they
to get,
start
I have in my
speaking to
brain
you-
too, like what I'm going to be painting at Nova over the weekend. And so I kind of am already like broadcasting for the weekend what I want to take. And so I've got a bunch of models on my desk that I want to take to work on there. But I don't have anything that's really jumping out at me today.
But if your models are speaking to you, that's a bigger problem.
That's when it's
so-
the good part. You shush. I speak back to them too, yes.
All right.
Okay, Jen, I'm sure it'll be fine.
It's fine.
Game delay, watch out. They're going to yell at you for jinxing it because I just said the same thing and got a little scared.
Game delay? Push. Push. It'll hear you talking about it, and then it'll just mess itself all up. It'll be like, oh, you like this, do you?
Will the orange be available for purchase at a booth?
Yeah, the Nova booth. Maybe. So, yeah, maybe. No guarantees. Depends on how many they decide to give away. Nova's in charge of all of that, so they get to decide if they're giving that stuff away 100% in the swag bags. If so, and you didn't get a swag bag, it'll be available on our site. There are no extras, I don't think. We took some so that Atlantis would be able to sell some, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so our hope is that, yes, but it's still a very limited amount. So, but it will be on the site afterwards, too. Or starting Friday, I guess. Nova's a weird show because we don't do Nova in a way like all the rest of the shows that we do where we go out in a, big, explosive, here's all the cool stuff, buy now. We don't mobilize like that for Nova. We like hanging out, talking paint. It's more of a participatory event for us rather than being locked to our booth. So I think we have a ton of fun there. But yeah, we don't...
Jason and Jordan will not be selling anything directly.
we won't be selling anything at the booth.
Nope.
They're not. There's not a point of sale there at the where Jason and Jordan will be. I don't
Nope.
even know. Do you call it a booth? What do you call it? A table?
An
area?
I'm not sure. It's technically a table, but it's sort of a booth. It's a Yeah, I don't know. What constitutes a booth?
Huh?
Do you have to have 3 sides for it to be considered a booth?
I mean, I look at our booth as the booth.
Oh, I
yeah,
don't know.
as
Which I
do
know
I.
it's not that.
I don't know about all that. It's a couple tables
It
with
is
a
couple of
banner
tables.
behind us.
Yep.
We put all of our money and investment in Nova into the prize support for the Capital Palette and being able to come and hang out and have a good time. So yeah, it's a little bit different for us than other shows.
Captain Howdy would like to know if the monument clippers would be okay to use on metal models.
No. On metal?
Metal.
No. Our clippers are built for plastic and resin. Small metal, like if you're doing like brass rod for pinning, you can get away with that. But no, it is not intended. Our clippers are not built for using on cutting metal.
Steve Schmidt said a booth is where you sit at Chili's. That's true too.
I think.
What?
I think.
Big
Says
Bobzilla,
that-
thank you for the sub.
A booth is where you sit at Chili's.
Also true.
Which, now that I'm thinking about it, I think the time that you and I went to Chili's when we were in
We sat at a table.
California. No. I'm going a different direction with this. I think that's the first time I have ever been to a Chili's.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
Man of
Never lived
Miniatures
by
has a question. I'm going to be painting a transparent mini, and I was going to use the transparent paints. If putting it, okay, I think that's the end of the sentence. If putting it in an airbrush, should I use a medium mixed with the paint or no? I've already put down a coat of matte medium on it.
Should you use a medium mixed with the paints? You
If
should
putting it
thin
in
them
an
down.
airbrush.
Right? Our transparent paints are really abusively strong in pigmentation. So you probably want to thin them down, whether you use medium or water. Am I answering this correctly? Am I?
If putting it in an airbrush, should I use a medium mixed with the paint or not? I've already put down a coat of matte medium on it, on the model, I think.
Yeah, you should always thin them. Like, test an area and see what you like. But the transparent paints are very pigment dense. So you're going to get a lot of color out of them, even though you can see through that color. It may oversaturate what you're looking at. So be very careful with it as you start. And yeah, thin them. That's how you can reduce that saturation. It's how you can get to a point where you can play with the color a little bit more and build it up as you go, rather than just trying to get it completely, covering on the first pass. We're big fans around here of thinning your colors when doing things that you might consider to be more effect oriented, like painting something transparent, right?
Papa Chicken, I don't understand what you're saying. Are you talking about a booster seat, like for a child?
We don't have those.
Another one here. This one. Ostrello said, I'm using that dry brushing wood color technique you talked about a few streams ago, using dark camo green and warm brown on some twig blights, and it is working wonderfully and giving them some nice depth and breaking up other colors. Oh, so that was not a question. That was just I did what you said and it worked.
Yep.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Oh, and Man of Miniatures is identified as a possible harasser, and Twitch is monitoring.
Ruh-roh.
Again?
This is Twitch's new thing. I didn't even notice it because that was a real question, so I wasn't even paying attention to it until you responded. Thank you.
Why in the world has Twitch decided that it needs to protect everybody from...
Are you really asking that question?
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you said it, it's like,
Sorry.
oh yeah.
Sorry. Twitch doing everything but the right thing for their business.
They definitely are a very interesting company. Probably an interesting way to put it.
The fact that they're owned by Amazon and make all these horrible mistakes makes me think that they're probably not horrible mistakes. They're probably decided in boardrooms by people who don't know what they're doing.
I mean, look at Amazon though.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
none
exactly
of
what I'm
this is
saying.
surprising.
Right?
Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
I think what it's doing is, like, if it's someone who might be a new viewer or someone who's never used chat before, maybe that's the only thing I can.
Yeah, but why in the world would it immediately default to this could be a horrible person
Right.
when
I don't know.
that just doesn't make any sense?
All they're doing is asking very relevant questions, from what we could tell.
We believe in you,
Yeah, we do.
even if Twitch
Also,
doesn't.
great question.
I think they're overcorrecting for all the risky trends that have been leaking into Twitch.
Well, that's potentially fair.
All the what?
Risky
Risky
trends
trends?
in quotation marks. I don't know. I don't
I'm
know what
not
that
sure
means.
what that means, but
I'm
I can.
very isolated in our own little Twitch stream, and that's about it. So I don't know what else is happening out there in Twitch land.
I always assume lots of weird things.
Yeah.
That's my
you would
assumption.
You would be correct in assuming lots of weird things for sure.
I wish there was. Now, do you guys? So, like, those of you who are watching on Twitch right now, do you see the alert that every time Man of Miniatures says something, it's
doubt
outlined as
it.
possible harasser, or is that just
It's
on
probably
our
on our
moderator
end.
side?
I would assume so.
No, you don't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's one of those things that they're like, don't tell anybody, but this person might
Yeah.
be a harasser.
Streamers
Yeah,
are
but I can
pushing
see
back. Oh,
I can
yeah.
see people like taking, like there being streamers who would like take action against that
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
before they've even seen the person do anything untoward.
Well, it might also just be like for Twitch moderators, because a lot of people have mods.
Improbable
handle that.
wargaming. What do you do? What? So you do. Bet he eats paint and Twitch is trying to warn us. Could be. I think they mean abuser. Term. No. This isn't saying abuser. It's saying possible harasser, not abuser. Gosu is looking forward to seeing you guys at Nova.
Awesome.
Nice.
I will be there Friday. Technically Thursday. You may see me wander around at night. I'll be there Thursday afternoon, but look for me. I won't be at the booth in any kind of big way until Friday.
I will be there, and Christopher will be there tomorrow night.
Improbable wargaming, you're seeing on our stream, you're seeing bot messages with warnings because you're on YouTube, and I'm not seeing them on our YouTube chat. I'm only seeing them
That
on
would
our
be
Twitch chat.
so interesting to see those through YouTube. It'd be very odd.
Why does Monument Hobbies have a wizard named Tim, but we haven't met him yet? Tim's very quiet.
Tim's awesome.
Tim is a fantastic guy, and I loved all his post has gotten a lot of positive responses, which is really nice.
So-
Yeah, I
Also-
love everybody being like, "Hello, Tim."
Yeah.
Thank you for what you
He's
do.
like peeking out.
That's
and,
so awesome.
like,
It is such a good
That's
photo
awesome.
of Tim too.
Oh, it was a
When-
great photo.
When
It's
you
a good
put that in
photo,
there
yeah.
and you said what you said, I was like, yeah, this is 100% like probably one of the best photos I've seen of somebody in general. Like, this is great.
We only have
I'll
great
email you
people who
pictures.
work here.
Can you just clarify real quick if you're seeing them through YouTube chat, you're seeing bot messages on our stream? That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking to understand.
No.
He's
We
saying
see
I will
all the
email you
messages.
pictures, so I'm just trying to get more information. If it's your stream, I don't need you to email me pictures. If it's our stream chat that you're watching on YouTube and you're seeing bot messages, please let me know. Because I don't see those on our YouTube chat, but we're using a different app. So you see bot messages on Twitch saying it's from YouTube. So, okay. then yes,
That's
I would like to see
Restream.
that.
Yes. Restream bot will post on Twitch
Yeah,
and vice
Restream
versa.
bot. So that's the app that we use for this.
Yep. To bring you all together.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're not talking about the Restream bot. So you do not see spammy bot messages on our stream. That's what I was getting. No spam, thank you.
That took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
That was a long way around the block.
I probably wasn't doing a good job.
Nova will be your first ever convention. Awesome.
Holy
It's a good
cow.
one. It's very social. At least the part that we do is very social, so we love it, right? We get to hang out, chat, but it's a very, what's a good word for it? I don't want to say sedate, because there's tournaments going on and people...
I mean, it feels, unlike a lot of other shows, it feels like a weekend getaway type of convention. Like, even because I've attended once before, and that was definitely the feeling that I got when I went to the show, was like, this more than any other show I've been to just feels like a
Hanging
cool
out.
weekend to hang out.
Yeah.
It feels like it's very low pressure on the, like, on everything, unless I'm there for like playing in the big tournaments, which might deliver a different feel for everybody else. But I wonder if the general vibe of the convention still kind of brings that to those people, even though they're in a big tournament hall, just because a lot of other people around them are all kind of just like hanging out and having a good time.
I think so. It's a lot less, like, it feels a lot lower pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I'm not there competing, so
Yeah.
it could still very well be the gaminess of competition could still be going on behind those doors, and I would never know.
Big Bob said it started as a charity event. It still has the vibes of more relaxed atmosphere.
Yeah.
I am right now taking the advanced flesh tone and the bright advanced flesh and mixing them together to do my first layer of highlights on him.
Bright advanced flush. What was the second color you're using?
Bright warm flesh.
No, the bright advanced.
Bright shadow flush.
Bright shadow flesh, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I always think of it as bright advanced flesh.
It does work as a great highlight for it, for sure.
Source the mini that Jordan is painting is
Danav.
it's related
Age.
to Age of Angra.
Yep.
Not available yet, but we are going to be having some miniatures available soon that are like companions to the characters or that was what they're called in the game.
Asura.
And then Jason's is
The Pan Fawn Sire.
From
That's a mouthful.
From that, is this from the My Mini Factory thing?
Yep.
Okay.
From Fates Entwined by Dragon Trapper's Lodge. Ended last week. You can still probably go to Dragon Trapper's Lodge on My Mini Factory, though, and get some individual models. If not, you'll be able to soon, I would assume. I might be getting myself in trouble, because I don't really have all the details for what goes on after the launch of it. But the campaign ended last week.
And these are both 3D printed, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Resin.
Yeah, both these are 3D printed models.
Chuck said they looked at maybe taking Amtrak for Nova in the future, blending the con and a sightseeing vacation. Sounds
Very
like a nice
cool.
trip.
Yeah, one of these days I've got to make my way out to DC to kind of just experience DC. I've never really had the opportunity to do that before, so.
Route, we
Definitely
will
sounds like some
not
fun.
be selling anything as STLs. It will be actual models. Schmidt said it seems like those tribes campaigns from My Mini Factory come out for individual sale about a month later.
That's what I've experienced, which is why I'm saying I think you should be able to get these models once it's all the clutter settles and everybody gets their, what they backed in the campaign. The nice thing about those is that the campaigns tend to fulfill very, very quickly.
Yeah, don't have any.
I mean, because
physical
we
stuff.
have the actual print, the same model you would have backed and gotten is exactly what we're printing. These are printed here on our printers. So all these files were ready to go. I have legitimately, I think the entirety of that campaign I've had for a month. So I'm pretty sure that when it closed, people got STLs.
Yeah.
There may have been some add-ons that came because they hit certain targets that they weren't prepared to release, but I'm pretty sure the bulk of it is just done. Because they've had these models for a while now. They're awesome.
Negative CHA. Not after. It'll be available Friday on our website. You don't have to wait until the show ends. It'll be available on Friday. Route, did that answer your question? Bundles from the campaign are available right now, said T. Schmidt.
Oh, nice. Yep. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of these. They are tremendous models. Great sculpts. Lots of fun and whimsical nature on some of them. Without being overly cartoony. It's not like you're buying a bunch of chibi models or anything,
T. Schmidt, if you are looking at the site and you would like to post the link to it, you may do that. And we will tell people that you are trustworthy. We'll see if we can get a link for you. There you go.
Thank you for that follow.
T. Schmidt coming in. Thank you, T. Schmidt. And Ken Doom, thank you for the follow. Big Bob, I'm not sure if it came through, but I want to make sure that you know that we thanked you for your sub. We appreciate you. 87 months? No, 88 months. No,
Holy.
87 months.
Big Bob been here a while.
Must have missed a month in there. Resub for 87 months, been subbed for 88.
Dang.
You didn't know if he was going to hang out with. It was that one month where he was on the
that was a little
fence.
sketchy.
That 1 month where he was like, I don't know about these people.
I like it in theory, but
So I went and saw Alien Romulus on Friday.
tell us all about it.
Oh boy.
Bummer. Can already tell.
Okay, Route still has some questions about the Ongra minis. Do you have a bunch of 3D printers to make the Ongra minis, or one really nice print that is cast in resin? So it doesn't matter since I'm buying either way.
We have printers on site that we do all of our texture trainers with. We have a third party out of Texas who is doing all of the Ongra minis. As a matter of fact, the first batch of these 3 shipped out today. I just got shipping notification today. So we should have them very soon, assuming they pass QC. Then we got to do packaging and labels and all that stuff for them. So they're not coming out tomorrow or anything, but we're working hard on all that. But those are done 3D printed from a partner company of ours out of Texas. So if that helps you. We 3D print here, but we do not have enough staff and print facilities to add these to current production timelines. It's all our print guy can do to keep up with demand for the texture trainers right now. So we have gone outside for assistance, but yes, they are 3D printed. We like to keep the cost of the miniatures at a really good value. We still have to pay back for the sculpting and design and all that stuff, but we like miniatures to be at a good cost. And 3D printing has gotten to such a level of quality that I'm very comfortable personally with painting all these models. They meet my expectations 100% for quality of models that I want to be painting. And so I'm ready to continue releasing cool models to you guys at really good pricing that 3D printing can do, because I'm of the mindset that this process is and can be and should be almost less expensive than molding.
It is crazy to me how quickly that whole, how quickly 3D prints became super accessible.
Yeah, over the course of about 2 years, the quality jumped light years beyond what it started as. And the ability to have them clean up nicely, supports to work very well. Resin quality has gone up tremendously. We've been working with a resin manufacturer to create our own resin that all of the texture trainers are going to be made out of. So, yeah, the overall state of 3D printing does nothing but get better and become more of a valid resource for manufacturing. It's still tough in a bulk manufacturing sense to use it consistently because it just you have to have a tremendous amount of machines, and the timing for it doesn't really fit. So the bigger your operation gets, you still got to go to different forms of production. But for small miniature producers like ourselves, we can afford to do it with 3D printers and just have a bigger print farm. But at some point in time, you would have to have like hundreds of machines if you wanted to do big commercial stuff. Like we couldn't make a miniature game with 3D printers. You would have to spend so much time bulking up parts for that to become viable over molding.
We really can't see what either one of you are doing.
Sorry. Doing some pretty delicate stuff on the headdress here. Trying to make sure that I get everything in the lines.
Is the resin still stinky? I mean, it doesn't smell great.
I mean, resin is stinky no matter what.
But I've smelled a lot of worse things.
Plastic is super stinky when you're molding it. Anytime you melt plastics and stuff, it's stinky too. But yeah, in its raw, uncured form, resins smell. That won't go away, I don't think.
Once they're cured, though, don't really have.
Yeah, it's just plastic once it's cured.
Yep.
With water washable stuff, it's not so bad, but it's a trade-off because it's a bit more brittle.
Water washable, yeah. I haven't ever been impressed with the water washable stuff. We have used some water washable resins, but we always clean it with IPA still anyway.
Yeah, I always thought that was really interesting when they created that. The water washable stuff was pretty interesting.
Natos, hello. Natos. We talked about this, and I've
Good
forgotten.
afternoon. That one was for you, Jason.
Huh?
That one was for you.
No, that's for the world that lives in reality. It's for me.
It's for me. Oh, man.
Anyone do anything fun this weekend? You heard about Jason's movie disappointment. Did you talk much about it?
I didn't talk about it. I just said I went and saw it.
Oh. So never mind. We didn't talk about Jason's movie disappointment. Jason didn't love the movie.
It didn't.
Did anybody else over the last 2 weeks go to see Alien Romulus? I was very bummed.
Water washable resin always concerns you, if only because of its naming. I always worry somebody will think it means you can rinse it in the sink down the drain. I mean, if you know that, it shouldn't be rinsed in the sink down the drain. And you make sure that people in your general vicinity know that.
Yeah, and it never really cleans the resin as well anyway.
Flapjack Nickelsack training for a marathon. What?
Oh my goodness.
Over the weekend? Awesome.
Training for a marathon, so I did a lot of running.
Very cool.
So it is a running
impressed.
marathon, not some other kind of marathon, like a Breaking Bad marathon.
How's that been going, by the way, you guys?
We're not marathon. We watched a few episodes when we have time. Very good.
We're hammering through it 1 or 2 episodes at a time.
Bot Tomato hasn't seen it yet. Probably this weekend. Chuck's excited about more nerd athletes. I should be a little offended by that.
Green or right, yellow green.
Marathon number 3. What? Good for you.
That's awesome.
I had maybe about a week of my life where I considered running a marathon. And that went away.
That's the whole week. That's a decent amount of time. I would think about it for 2 seconds and go, nah.
No, because I know someone who ran a marathon and did this training program where it's like you run with a group every week and you build up, you add like a mile each week.
Uh-huh.
And it made it seem very doable. And she talked about how great it felt afterwards to, to have accomplished that. So I really did think about it.
Did you try the...
No.
No.
It was 1 week. 1 week. And then I got over it.
Like, I don't need that in my life.
Oh, Ghost Hunter said he's been going to the gym to make up for Jordan not going to the gym like he said he was going to start.
Oh my gosh.
Have you been spying on Jordan to know that he hasn't been going to the gym? I don't know.
It hurts my
Captain
soul a
Mannerings,
little bit.
hello.
Can't get called out by chat about that. I have to make some changes.
I think it's happening anyway.
That is, I mean, it's gonna happen regardless. Chat will
Sure.
always make fun of us.
Punisher's done a 5K. This is plenty enough. I've done a few, and yes, that's my limit. No interest. My favorite was the half K that we did.
Ha!
That was a good one.
Where they gave us pizza
Yeah,
and
we
drove us
actually
in a
rode
golf cart.
We rode a golf cart for
That
the half K. Some
sounds
people
great.
walked it. Some people actually use their feet to get from point A to point B. Half K.
We VIP'd it.
We were VIP.
There was a VIP program for
We
the
had
half
a VIP
K
package.
that we did. And the VIP
Pizza,
package
donuts.
included pizza, donuts,
Oh my god.
and a golf cart ride for the
Yeah.
half K. They drop you
Yeah.
right off at the door.
It was great.
Pizza donut.
Called the Underachievers Run.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's called the Underachievers Run.
Oh
It
my
was in
god.
Scottsdale. Started at a bar, ended at a bar.
Yep.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. And everybody dressed up.
Yeah.
And like they're serious. We're serious about fitness. My shirt had the I'm serious about fitness taco in my mouth.
Oh, that's so good.
I wore a headband and a fanny pack.
I would love to see photos of this.
Kimberly
This
said,
would be-
I haven't been going to the gym either, Jordan, and that doesn't make me a lesser person. It's all the other things that do that.
Oh no. I really should be going. The answer is either go in the mornings with Phil, like at 6 a.m. or something, or go by myself after the gym or after work.
Sounds like two viable options.
I have not been able to choose between the two, so we're in a state of limbo right now.
I would recommend testing one of each and seeing which one you like better.
I have been working on adjusting my sleep schedule in a pretty dramatic way, so that has been going well, which is great. And then, but 5 o'clock is pretty early to get up for that. I have to go to sleep pretty darn early.
Awkwardish Panda doing a drive-by hi to drop a lurk while I'm packing.
What
Said
up,
very much
Awkwardish?
looking forward to seeing you.
Heck yeah.
Nick, today it just worked. I don't know if anyone did anything or if it just needed the weekend to sort itself out, but so far everything is working fine.
My vote is on the weekend.
Aside
sorting
from a
itself
bit
out.
of confusion over the fact that we were talking about bots and there was some misunderstanding about the restream bot. But no, it's all working great. Papa Chicken said, Jordan, I suggest trying one option in roughly an hour and 15 minutes. Be spontaneous. Just see what happens.
I got packing to do tonight.
Is an hour and 15 minutes? Is that
After stream today.
Oh.
In 1 hour and 15 minutes, go to the gym.
Hershey said 6? You're lucky. I have to get up before 5, and I have a decent home gym. You don't even have to go anywhere, and you're getting up at 5. That's motivation. I respect that.
Right now, the goal is to get up at 6 every morning. That's my current goal, which leaves me plenty of time to do stuff in the morning before I come to work.
There was also some misunderstanding that Game Delay was a bot.
Yep.
Nope, never found a bot with jokes as good as yours.
Game Delay, are you a legal bot? Are you like the legal bot? Telling us all the things that we were supposed to be able to do but can't necessarily do?
Kind of sure you still have getting morning workouts in, but that was when I didn't have to show up until 10. Definitely easier when you don't have to show up until 10.
It's definitely doable. Just requires more adjustments.
You gotta want it.
Gonna say.
I don't
Commitment,
do it
dedication.
either.
That's all it
don't do
takes.
New building might have a gym? No. Ours? No. No space. Space will be a premium everywhere.
Using some dark plum here to push the recesses a little bit. Add a little bit more warmth.
Nick said, I just spotted on my bottle of glaze and wash medium, there's the world's tiniest and most understated miracle text. So,
Mhm.
Nick, you need to start like looking at all of your bottles of paint.
There's quite a few of them.
They don't all have it, but it's a fun little game. Fun little scavenger hunt.
When was the first time that you guys put that on a bottle?
2018.
2018.
The
So it's been a
original
while.
bottles. And all of the original bottles that had it still have it today.
What's your favorite of all of the little quirky names on them?
Pants.
Which one?
Pants.
Pants.
Yeah, pants blue or soylent green.
Soylent
Pants
green.
is my favorite.
Pants. So good.
They're there, T. Schmidt.
I appreciate that you also had an answer immediately.
Of course they did. Been doing this for a while. You walked out. What was the little gem you missed? Couldn't tell you. I don't know when you walked out. Maybe the miracle on the glaze and wash medium.
It's a miracle. An old miracle medium.
And that some of the regular paints have similar little fun pieces of text on them.
Yeah,
On the
fun
labels.
little Easter egg text.
I love that we do that. So great.
It sucks because nowadays we get so busy we forget to
Forget
do
about it. We've thought about a couple that we need to add, and then we forget again when it's time to order the labels. So
I blame Gabe.
yeah.
Jen's like, yeah.
Flapjack likes Cypher and Ivory. That's another good one. You probably need to find some new Easter eggs, Paint Liquor. Thought there was something hidden. That's it. Now I have to look at them all. Yes, you do. We're not going to tell you which ones that have them. You got to figure that out. That's the fun part. Every one of your dioramas has tiny Easter eggs included. I love rewarding people who look super close at my work. That's awesome. Yes, love that. Are the soap tins magnetic? I don't know. That's a good question.
They're aluminum.
Anyone have a magnet over there in a brush scoop?
I do. My guess would be no. Aluminum is generally not.
Yes, everyone painting topless beastmen in miniskirts today. All is normal and right in the world. And that is true, right? They both have little skirts on?
Nope. It is not magnetic.
Not magnetic.
I can confirm.
It's
It's
a
a
kilt.
kilt.
I don't think either one of those is a kilt.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
They are mini skirts.
They're mini skirts.
Beastmen in rompers.
I'm not paying attention to you people.
That's
He
probably
didn't
wise.
like it that we said his Hulk looked like a ballerina either.
Well, to be fair, Shelby did make polka tutu.
Yeah, and he didn't like it.
I think that happened.
Completely out of scale.
Yes, accurate. That's very true. It does look ridiculous, though.
Be hemmed a little bit of.
Just bring it in just a little bit.
They're in their
it'll fit
Saturday
great.
night skirts. Getting ready for a night out on the town. Still have the screenshot of Ballerina Hulk.
Still exists as a thumbnail
put it
on
in
one of our
Discord.
videos or somewhere.
Jason loves to see it.
Be wary. Be wary. You get what you ask for. Just telling you.
I promise to be nice as I scream at you.
I mean, Paint Liquor does live in Arizona, but probably would not hear the yelling.
I will record it and put the video in Discord.
Of people getting yelled at?
If they
Oh, you'll record a video of you
taunt
yelling
me
at
with
people.
Tutu Hulk.
Yeah.
Not nice.
True. That is correct. It's not very nice. It might be a little funny,
You're probably right.
but
You're probably right.
But it is also possible for things to be funny and not nice.
Probably right.
So, do I think it would be hilarious for you to yell at a bunch of nerds who are making fun of you about Ballerina Hulk? Yes.
I swear to God.
Will I do so to make you annoyed?
Probably.
Definitely not.
Probably.
Well, there's other things I would do that would be fun for me personally. But if Ballerina Hulk is that for somebody else, that's on them. And they know what to expect.
Hello, Avian. What? Nothing more ever? Avian said hello to all of us and said, "That's it. I am saying nothing more."
But
Oh,
hi,
except
bye.
For,
except for high wad tomato. What'd we do? Wrong.
I don't remember putting Avian in timeout.
I don't think I did either. Long time listener, first time caller.
Oh, this guy. I haven't done anything more. He's one of the ones I'll be taking to Nova to work on to continue figuring out my color scheme. But I'm excited to do so. I've got some nice kind of filtered coats done. Now it's all about figuring out what all the parts are and getting highlights and stuff like that started out. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Fun model.
Chuck got a wedding invitation from an old friend who lives in California. The wedding is literally 3 days long. I mean,
3 days long. An event.
That's not uncommon. Is it like a destination wedding?
One would hope if it's 3 days long. It's instead of like a 3 day long barbecue, backyard barbecue.
I'm sure they have like
that could be cool too, I guess.
events
That'd be
like
pretty fun.
welcome dinners and cocktail receptions and
Different
then the
themed potlucks every day.
ceremony and the reception and the dinner and then the next day the you know, the farewell breakfast. Very common.
Good old weddings.
That'll be just Bright Shadow Flesh by itself, mixed with Advanced Flesh Tone on the first go round.
1 day, 8 hours tops. 8 hours. That's a long wedding.
What the heck?
No, 3 days doesn't sound as bad as 8 hours.
Yeah, not good.
If I have to do a 3-day wedding, you don't get help when you move next time.
That's so funny.
That's a fair
I've already paid my dues.
If you make me go to a 3-day wedding, I'm not helping you move next time. You get a pick.
Bushman, hello. Glad you made it. 8 hours only if you're in the wedding party. Exactly. And even that's a stretch.
8 hours is a long time for that sort of stuff. I mean, it's kind of a whole day affair, though, right?
I mean,
Shouldn't be.
a wedding might be
For the wedding
an
party.
hour for the ceremony if they do like a mass. And then a reception might be 4.
Yeah, but there's all that like prep ahead of time, though, right?
Well, not if you're a guest.
Yeah, that's what I'm
If
saying.
you're
is-
in the wedding, yes.
Correct,
Then you have
yeah.
a lot more going on.
Yeah.
Trying to think of how many people I enjoy enough to want to go hang out for 3 days while they are distracted by their wedding. Again, if it's a destination, there's stuff to do.
Yeah, I went to a wedding in, I nearly said St. Lucia, but what is it? In Mexico? It's Baja, California, down by Cabo, Tulum.
Yeah.
I went to a destination wedding in Tulum that was a whole weekend, and that was a lot of fun. Because, like Jen was saying, right? There's a lot to do. Run off and go do your own. They got time for you to just kind of have it as a vacation on your own, and then wedding stuff. So it wasn't 3 days of constant hanging out with the wedding party. It was just a good excuse for a vacation.
Yeah. Well, and like, so I went to a wedding in March, and it was local. It was not a destination wedding. But it was almost like a destination wedding because the couple and their family and all their friends lived, you know, in a certain part of the valley, and the wedding was probably an hour away from them in Phoenix. And they did. They spent the entire weekend at the resort. They had all the things that I said. They had like a cocktail hour for welcoming their guests. Then they had their rehearsal dinner. Then the next day they had like a wedding breakfast, and then they had the wedding ceremony that day, and the pictures, and the dinner, and the reception, and then the next day they did again the thanks everyone for coming. You know, the people who'd stayed at the resort the whole weekend. I was like 30 minutes away, so I just drove there, and then I went home afterward. But I can for sure see how, if you're going to a big resort like that for your wedding, I can easily see how they could extend it to a few days. Yeah, and that was another thing too. Is it a cultural thing that the wedding is so long? Because like a Hindu wedding is a multi-day thing. And then you have other people who are like, want to get married? Sure, let's go talk to a judge, and then it takes 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So
With 2 people you pulled from the corner as witnesses.
yeah.
Yeah. Or the couple before you.
I've heard of that happening.
What, one couple goes in and they're like, "Hey, couple before us, you wanna be witnesses?" Just run down the chain.
Best wedding. Do you? Yes. How about you? Sure. Do the thing. Let's party. Yeah.
Welcome to Vegas.
But some people love a big thing, and it's like a really special event for them. And I can for sure. I wanted a Hindu wedding, but I couldn't afford the arranged marriage. Ghost Hunter. Yeah. I think that's a pretty common problem. Why there aren't more. Last couple in line have to wait overnight for the first couple in the morning to show up and be witnesses.
Yep. Don't worry though, they get a free meal ticket for their time. Yeah, it would be so. I can't imagine like getting married at one of those like Vegas places. Sounds wild. I know they have like a million of them.
Like a drive-through chapel?
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
Not that anything's wrong. It's just like that whole experience just seems really wild to me.
Oh.
Like if you're in Vegas, you're doing. I don't know. Maybe I associate it too much with like TV shows and movies that depict that stuff that I've watched in my youth, where it's like crazy, like yeah.
That's definitely not what all Vegas weddings
Oh,
are. I know
100%.
I've been to 2 Vegas. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't. One of them I didn't go to, but I know 2 people who got married in Vegas, and it was like actual ceremonies in chapels and things like that. It was not the
Elvis.
not Elvis, nothing like that, nothing corny, nothing cheesy. They were real weddings. I was in one of them.
Yeah.
We had the standard thing, dresses, all the things.
Yeah, a regular wedding that in Vegas, that makes total sense. Do you hang on? Let me finish this highlight. Now, what was the question? Dang it, Spatsnat.
Buffer days where you spend time with old friends, and that sounds great. That's what it should be, right?
Additional buffer days before and after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, that's kind of the nice thing, right? That's why I like the idea of like a resort wedding, right? It's because everybody kind of has to go out there, like you said, like a couple of days, and you have like maybe the wedding in the middle or whatever, and then you just got to be there with a bunch of your friends and hang out, or everybody can go do their own thing, which is also really cool. I like that. That's great.
Yeah, like my buddy had one day I was able to, it was just free for all, right? Go do your thing. They had a bunch of things they had listed that they had talked to the events in the area around Tulum, you know, to get discounts if you wanted to go do them as groups.
Oh, cool.
But you didn't have to sign up for it or anything. And so I went and like dove a cenote, and then you came back and they had on the schedule for everybody to come out for drunken beach volleyball. And they had 2 nets, way too many people for 2 nets, which meant that, you know, you didn't have to even take part. You could just sit around and laugh at people as we all drank.
Probably what they had intended anyway.
Yeah, as we all drank and played volleyball, which was great, right?
Yeah, it sounds like a great time.
Yeah, but they asked that, hey, we would like for everybody to attend these, and they put certain things on the schedule, like drunken volleyball, that we would really like for everybody to come out. You don't have to drink, you don't have to play volleyball. You got to be there. And that was great, because it really did keep the participation there. Yeah. It felt like a group event, you know, like a wedding's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's definitely the way to do it.
But we went, I mean, like my sister got married in Hawaii, and so it was
very similar,
multiple days, but they didn't have like
any
a ton
events
of
really,
you know, like excursions, or we were kind of on our own to plan things.
I felt like theirs was done incorrectly because of the fact that they asked people to go that far, but didn't have a whole lot of group events planned, except for the very close family. Yeah. You know, that felt like my buddy in Mexico did things no matter who you were. Here's where we'd like everybody to attend. And then they had all their family time when we were off doing like, and then you can go do all this stuff by yourself. Yeah. You know, take a bus. It was the first time I'd gone to Mexico a ton in that area, actually in Tulum, and I had never gone to visit any of the old pyramids that are out there. And so I took a bus ride by myself to go hang out at these pyramids, and I had a blast, you know. And then you get to be back and be with a group of people, which was cool. So.
Ghost Hunter, we don't have any space. Sorry. Vector, thanks for hanging out with us.
Bye,
Good night.
Vector. I will see you next week, Vector.
Oh, yeah. Next week?
Yeah?
What's next week?
When I will be back on stream?
Oh, gotcha.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. I had it the other way. I was like, where are you meeting Vector? If that's at Nova, that's tomorrow, buddy.
Yep, nope. My wedding was tiny as we were living in the Isle of Man. We didn't want people spending money on flights. 11 guests in total. It was perfect.
I don't know what's the plan for the stream the rest of the week. Jordan leaves tomorrow before stream starts.
I'm streaming tomorrow and Wednesday, and then you guys are most likely without for Thursday and Friday.
And Monday probably as well, because we fly back Monday.
Yeah, and Monday.
Yeah.
Our standard for conventions will be in effect.
Well, and then Monday, a week from today is Labor Day. So that's
well,
a
there you go.
holiday. So we won't be here that day either.
Oh, that's gonna be a wild day to fly back from DC.
Labor Day?
Yeah.
Why?
We fly back on Labor Day out of DC. Pretty busy airport.
No.
On a holiday?
It's really not that busy of an airport.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think it would be any busier than any other.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong then. Yeah. Ghost Hunter, whoa. We can't get Lady Commander Gentastic painting the off days?
Nope.
Nope.
You know how many years it's been, right? And it ain't happened yet. Doesn't mean we can't start or stop trying, but he's even got a Gabe here to help. Gabe's super busy, so.
Yeah, when people are gone, those of us who remain here have to make sure that nothing gets missed. Nope. Probably be 2 days without a stream this week. Well, and then the holiday, the 3. Matt is back today, though. He's been away for 3 weeks because his wife had a little baby. So he is back.
Super cute baby.
Yeah, really
super cute little girl.
Just teeny and so sweet.
Can we settle for a monument? That's not
Also,
settling.
yeah,
That's
wouldn't
great.
be settling.
That's great.
Not
He's good people,
way we
and
would
he's good
say
at
it.
painting. He's great.
Gotta go cook dinner. Have to watch the rest of today's later tonight. Have a good night. And well, you too.
Bye,
next time.
Charles. Oh man, speaking of food, I made the most delicious chicken teriyaki last night. I cracked the code on it. Made me very excited. Normally, never been very happy with chicken teriyaki I've cooked out. I don't know if I just haven't found the sauce. Was stupid and didn't know how to cook it right, but I figured it out last night. It was delicious.
Jen makes the best Italian meat sauce on the planet.
Oh?
And so she did it over this really good ravioli last night. It was really good.
What about it is so awesome?
So
It's not very saucy.
before she met me, I'm sure she liked sauce that was wet.
Okay.
Still do.
Okay.
And showing her love to me,
Yeah.
she now makes sauce that is dry.
Yeah. So it's kind of like almost like having like a chili for sauce, like a thick chili for your pasta sauce.
It's probably a good way to put it.
For the consistency at least.
But it's not even that wet.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, it's just meat. Like putting meat on top of your pasta.
That has
a little
some
bit
amount of tomato sauce mixed into it.
Enough to hold it together.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
I do not like wet sauce. I'm odd.
That's not. I mean,
The best spaghetti I had ever had before meeting Jen, because Jen's has now become the best spaghetti I've ever had. The best spaghetti I'd ever had was made by a little Sri Lankan guy named Sudat. And Sudat
Okay.
was the personal live-in assistant for one of my clients when I was building recording studios. An Italian client of mine in Miami who was first generation Italian in the U.S.
Yeah.
Ugo Colombo.
Ugo Colombo.
And
Okay.
his personal assistant was named Sudat from Sri Lanka, and that guy made the best spaghetti ever. Like,
Huh.
It was amazing. It was spicy, so the sauce had some spice that he used. Like, he always called it fish spice. It was like dried fish, something. It was weird. Because he had spent his entire chef learning career on big shipping boats in that area of the kind of Med and Horn of Africa and European shipping lanes.
Yeah.
And so he had to cater to a lot of different tastes, but he had a lot of spices from the island and things like that he used. But he made amazing spaghetti. And what he taught me is that it's all about making sure that the sauce was dry. And I said, how do you have a dry sauce? It's wet. That's the whole point. He's like, watch. And he did it. And I was like,
Watch.
okay. It was just wet enough to hold it all the good stuff together so that it wasn't like sprinkling. Like she makes a joke. You can't just sprinkle meat and spice over it and have it be the right way.
Right.
It has to hold it together. It has to cling to the noodles.
Yeah.
Right? So he did it just so it clinged to the noodles. But when you looked at the dish, you saw more noodles, right? And the other stuff was kind of in between it. So I don't know. It's tough to describe. Anyway, it's good.
Interesting.
Captain
Most
Mannering's-
cooked dishes fall somewhere between the scale of soup to casserole. Yeah, I prefer the casserole end if that's the scale.
Captain Mannering said you are correct regarding dry spaghetti.
I think
It
the
is way to
one.
go.
Nick from Great Privacy, you're 100% making up words now.
I think it was Ugo Colombo.
Ugo
Yeah, that's-
Colombo.
And
That one
Sadat.
definitely.
You
sounds
look
good.
him up. He was an amazing guy. He was a young guy who he got a lot of money from his dad and his family that helped seed capital him in the States. But he was the guy who came in and brought a bunch of European engineers and formulated ways to do new engineering for hurricane-proof condominiums
Oh, very
in
cool.
that area. This is like the 90s.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Really said you're not wrong for hating wet pasta. And to be clear, no one is wrong for their likes or dislikes related to any kind of
Oh,
food.
no. No, we don't hate wet pasta. I just don't really like it when the pasta, when you're done eating it, there's water, soupy water in the bottom of the bowl. That I don't like.
Or leftover sauce, like unused.
I think.
Yeah, leftover sauce too, because it should all cling to the noodles and be a pretty good amount.
I think the only time where I truly enjoy having leftover sauce is in like a clam soup,
Mm-hmm.
where I like to have the bread to dip in the remainder of the sauce afterwards, and that's pretty darn good.
Did you
Bud,
say
wait, Bud. You're bummed that you won't be able to meet me because you have shows Thursday through
I'm sad
Sunday?
about this too.
Well, now, wait a minute. I'll be there all day. Are you going for Wednesday and then leaving? Because nothing happens there on Wednesday.
Not much.
Some classes.
Yeah, they have some classes and stuff on Wednesday.
No one is wrong for your taste unless you eat paint. Well, that's true. Thank you, Spatsnat.
You're tickled salmon pink to meet me. Well, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there Thursday night and then all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I typically jaunt down, maybe have some breakfast at the restaurant at the hotel, go out and hang out with
Restaurants
Jordan
don't
at the
do
booth, do some Angra, walk around, talk to everybody. Tickled Nova Orange. There you go.
Okran said you started talking about sauce, and I jumped up with my tablet and ran into my husband's office. CC, I'm not the only one. So, do you share Jason's feelings about sauce shouldn't be too saucy, or spaghetti shouldn't be too saucy, or the opposite? I assume that you share Jason's opinion, and maybe your husband does not. If I'm interpreting this correctly.
I also eat my salads without salad dressing, so I am a little nuts. But
Oh, that is.
I don't like salad
interesting.
dressing. The only thing I like salad dressing on is Caesar. Caesar has to come with dressing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
For
Most
sure.
other salads, if I drizzle a little bit on there for flavor, that's as much as you'll see me do.
What-
I typically don't put any on there.
But you have toppings on the salad, so it's like salad plus other stuff.
Well, it's not just lettuce.
I would assume so. That's why
Well,
I'm
it's like
asking.
lettuce and tomatoes, and
Okay.
maybe there's
Like some onions or.
Well, what's the
Can't
salad
eat
you
that.
would
little
get
cheese
from,
and a protein or something like that.
Mad
you know?
Greens was like, yeah.
Yeah. The thing that I didn't like about Mad Greens was like when I did the wrap, they put the sauce in the wrap. They wouldn't. Yeah.
Like a Cobb salad is a salad that I would have without dressing on it. Because it's got all
Oh,
the
there
cool
you go.
stuff on it.
Okran is just all the same with you. Exactly. Share Jason's opinion on sauce. I also eat salad with dressing on the side. Occasionally dip it in the dressing.
Yep.
Yeah. He does usually get it on the side and then usually doesn't touch it.
So, okay. So
The only
here's
time to be
another-
happy about leftover sauce is when you get to drink the sugar milk out of the cereal bowl. So if we're calling milk sauce, I have a problem with this. But I'm with you in theory.
Because we don't really call cereal soup, so you can't really.
I'm
call
with
it-
you in theory. I get where you're going, but I don't like that we just called milk and cereal sauce.
Cereal
But there is a part of me now that I've said it out loud that I think that's what we should call it now.
cereal
Like
sauce.
milk should, when you go to the store, it should just be called cereal sauce. 2% cereal
Hobby Corner
sauce.
with the raid.
I'm on board. This sounds.
Welcome,
great.
Raiders.
What's
We're
up, Bobby
talking-
Corner?
Bobby Corner, what's going
We're
on?
talking about
Cereal sauce.
food.
Yeah, we've gone off the rails. We're talking
Yeah.
about food. Never dip pizza crust in sauce. You never dip pizza crust in sauce. That feels like a lying statement,
I've
Nick.
never done that.
Because nobody was talking about that, and now you've said you do not do that, so I feel like you do that. Milk is udder juice. That's also true.
Oh God.
Udder juice should be the brand, right? So we're going to create a brand called Udder Juice, and it's going to be skim 1% and 2% cereal sauce from Udder Juice.
I don't understand the never dipping pizza crust in sauce. Like, I used to go to a restaurant where you could just order pizza
crust.
crust with sauce and you would dip it.
I think Nick is lying.
really?
And it's so good.
That's a
Yeah.
thing that like.
Nello's Pizza.
Huh.
I'll have a bowl of chilled
What's your
wheat
favorite-
soup, please. Make it milky.
What's your favorite dip?
I wish there were
No,
places
it's-
where you
it's
could go
marinara. It's their
eat
pizza sauce.
cereal
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
okay.
You dip it in. Yeah.
Because I would totally order my cereal that way. Unfortunately, the only place I can find cereal, like where you can order it, is when it goes on top of your ice cream as a topping or something. Are there places you can go where you can get like a bowl of cereal? Maybe off the kids menu at IHOP or something, you could get like Cheerios.
I don't even think you can do that.
I don't know anymore if you can.
Huh. We have a few cereal restaurants here.
Lies.
Plus Ireland. They do things differently there. They probably have cereal restaurants. T. Schmid, there's no real recipe. It's literally just I take a pound of ground beef and I brown it with some seasoning, usually like garlic salt and red pepper and whatever else is in my cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pour just a little bit of marinara, like a jarred marinara sauce. It's not homemade by any means.
So here's another question.
It's
well,
magic.
Well then, okay. Here's an interesting one, Jason. Pasta cooked in the sauce or separately cooked? Or have you ever had the pasta cooked in the sauce?
I've had pasta cooked in the sauce. I do not like that. It tends to be, the way that I've had it, it tends to be tougher. I think the expectation
More
is
al
that
dente.
it's tougher.
It
It's like-
depends. There's certain like one pot where it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
But-
Instant Pot I use, and I cook the pasta in the pot, and it is spectacular when I make spaghetti.
Rex-
that way.
See, I don't trust anything you say about the cooking you do because I've seen you nearly die twice.
Well, okay. Now here's a statement. Rex is Italian and said we hang people who cook the pasta in the sauce.
See?
So
Well,
there you go.
okay, hold on. There's a difference between quick and efficiently cooked meals that you're making 10 or 12 of out of an Instant Pot, and it's another thing entirely when I'm cooking a real pasta dish.
Quad Tomato, I mean, Chuck just said there's one in Milwaukee,
One what?
a cereal restaurant.
I need to experience this. Like, what does this fictional cereal restaurant that you speak of, do they make like artisanal versions of my favorite cereals? Or do they literally charge you extra for a box of Fruity Pebbles? I need to
Burrito
understand
said
more
if you
about
want
this.
The sauce, if you want the sauce to properly stick, you cook the pasta separately until just before al dente, then add it to the sauce with a splash of pasta water to finish it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, that is correct.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, Okran, is that if you don't do it right, it can make it gummy because of the starch in the pasta. Like, you need a little bit of that starch in your pasta water into your sauce, but you don't want all of that starch.
Works great.
That's what I'm saying, is like some of, like the one pot ones I've done have been with like broth, not just the sauce.
Yes. Yeah. It does soak up basically all of the broth, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Chuck has no idea. He said, I'm not paying anyone to fix me a bowl of cereal. Poached eggs, yes. Cereal, no.
God, yeah. If I ever pay somebody to make me a bowl of cereal, things have gone wrong.
Well, so I'm curious though, right? Because if it's that they're making you, like they have some weird, hipster artisanal cereals that you can go try out.
All right.
I would at least want to look
Here.
at the menu before
Okay,
making
all right.
a judgment
Here,
call.
I'm going to Google it because he gave us the name. I'm going to do this right here.
Watch, we're gonna get really excited about whatever the heck they have on the menu, and we're gonna go, well, okay, maybe not so bad.
What's it called? Cloud9?
Cloud9 Cereal Bar.
Cereal bar.
It's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Menu. Yeah, it looks like
Okay,
ice
wait,
cream.
whoa.
This is not what we expected.
Whoa,
This
see,
is-
I
this
said
is
that the only place
novel ice
they get a bowl of cereal. There you go. Cereals. Choose your cereal to
Two
blend.
cereals, whole milk, one topping, and drizzle. They have, it's just this
It's just regular stuff.
cereal.
So that's exactly what I said, is the only restaurants I know of where you can go get cereal are really trying to sell you ice cream
Yeah,
and donuts. And that's exactly what this is.
that's what this is.
Donuts and ice cream, which are also not terrible things to be offered.
Punisher, thank you for the sub. 47 months.
Getting all the oldies and the goodies.
Brutal Burrito said, speaking of pasta water, the paint through my airbrush is coming out too watery and kind of splashy. Is this a thinning problem or a pressure problem?
Reread the question.
Are you...
Too watery.
These are tough ones, right? Because it could be a bunch of different things. How comfortable are you with your airbrushing? Does it work for you normally? Is this an oddity? Or are you just learning to airbrush? Because some of that is distance to the model.
First time airbrushing.
Yeah. So a lot of times maybe you're too close because... So I can paint in the airbrush with super, super thin paint. You gotta control how your trigger action works in order to not overload it. So one of the things that we show off a lot is when you watch me airbrush, it almost looks like I have the shakes. Okay? So holding the airbrush, it's nice and still. But when I go to airbrush, you'll see me airbrush like this. And just over the decades, I've trained myself to constantly be kind of, jiggling the nozzle. Not enough to be like paint over here, paint over there, paint over here, paint over there. You still want to stay focused in the same area, but I'm moving it in little bitty tiny circles or side to side. Because the thinner you go with your paint, the more you need to pay attention to not point at the same spot on the model for very long, because that paint builds up like a lake there immediately, and then the air pushes it out and ripples, and so you get that spider webbing that can happen. So what you want to be doing is constantly moving the airbrush. And even if you paint, like if I'm painting his arm with the airbrush and I'm painting up here, I'm constantly moving it, and then I'm moving down the arm. I'm not overloading paint up there because it becomes too wet. You're forcing more wet paint on top of paint that hasn't cured at some point. So continue to move and then go back and do it again and back and do it again and layer up that way. But until you get comfortable as a first-time airbrusher, if you're seeing it spiderweb and craze and do sort of really crazy stuff like that, then try backing away from the model a little bit, right? Or doing it, you can do it to where you kind of do this pulsing mode, where you just kind of do as opposed to just spraying, right? And if you can get good at being able to pulse your airbrush, whether it's a pistol grip or a top trigger like this, you just need to be understanding, like, okay, what do I need to do with my finger in order to get a little bit of paint? Because you're probably going to pull it back further than you normally would, but it's not going to put out as much paint. So it gives you control in the way the paint is applied. So there's some stuff to think about. Before you start digging into, is your paint too thin? Start spraying on some cardstock or sprue, prime some sprue and do it that way, so that you can see how the paint operates at different distances, how you run the trigger, and get used to that. And then find a spot where your paint is diluted properly for how you have found you are comfortable painting. I know that sounds a little tricky, but that will help you out a ton.
Rex wants to know how long until you start painting back hair. This is so realistic, I'm expecting back hair.
Back on this guy?
I assume yours.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got like weird back tree branches up by his neck, right? So I'm not real sure what that is.
All of the
It's like branches.
The energy that would have normally produced hair went to the tree branches.
Yeah, I'm really liking the fact that it's just ultra weird baby smooth skin on him. It sets the model up for some really crazy visual storytelling.
A couple comments about the flute that he's holding.
The pan flute.
Yeah, and like how he would play that.
And what?
I like how he would play it, if he's able to play it.
What it would sound like?
Oh, like if he has the mouth function to be able to play the flute.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely. He probably plays it through his nose. Right? Like, I feel like he'd be the kind of guy that would play it through his nose.
More on the airbrush situation. Do you want me to read that? Do you want to take a look at it? It's kind of long.
Been practicing on one of your old dry brush palettes, and it's been hit or miss. Whenever I get it to a satisfactory consistency, tested on an unfortunate dreadnought, been having mixed results all afternoon. What kind of differences are you seeing? Are you seeing different things happen with different consistencies of paint? Typically, I would tell you to set your airbrush at about 22 to 25 psi for your learning, right? So if you've got it at 22 is my favorite spot, 22 psi, and start with 50-50 thinner and paint. That's an easy number to remember. Right? 1 drop of paint, 1 drop of thinner. Obviously, you can't do that little. Do like 4 drops of paint, 4 drops of thinner. Whether you're using water, whether you're using glazed wash medium, whatever. 4 to 4, right? Because you want it 50%. And then start spraying that at 22 psi and practice going really close. You know, I will spray most of the time 3 to 4 inches from the model, no matter what my consistency of the paint is. But depending on what your findings are, like if it starts spreading out or it's too thin, then start backing away. If it gets to where it's too spotty, then mix some more paint up and don't thin it as much, right? Like you see, I mean, most of what I did on this guy, well, everything that I did on this guy was with 0 thinning of the base coats. Now, you can't really see much of that anymore because we've glazed over the top of it with all the actual color that you're seeing on him. But all of the base coats that I did were done with no thinning of the paint, but, you know, using our paint, using Pro-Acryl. And that's all at 22. I think we're at maybe 23, 4, 5 PSI.
It fluctuates a little bit depending on the
Well,
temperature and humidity.
Milwaukee will sell you a bowl of cereal. You don't have to go to Spain. They had a $6 bowl of cereal on their menu. Brutal Burrito said, unfortunately, the compressor doesn't have a gauge to read pressure, so I just have to go by feel.
Compressor doesn't have a gauge to read pressure, so you have to go by feel. First thing you need to do is get yourself a moisture trap that has a gauge on it. Right? That's your first job.
Yep.
They're like $16 to $20 on Amazon. Get that. That should connect directly to your compressor if it doesn't have one, because you need the moisture trap, number one. That could be causing you a lot of problems. Does it have a tank? Your compressor? Is it one of the small tabletop ones? If it's tankless, you need a water trap even more, because the tankless compressors will generate a lot of moisture in the line because it'll get hot, right? And that condensation from the heat in the line will cause the inside of the hose, because the hose is technically your tank. And the hose will start to have condensation on it between pulsing your spray, and that water is just going straight into your airbrush. That could be causing you problems with the smaller compressors like that. So get that. Yeah, the Harbor Freight starter kit is really cheap. That works really well and has one of those on there, those water traps. $17. There you go. Yeah.
T. Schmidt is generally a pretty trustworthy guy, so you could probably feel okay clicking his link.
It's an Iwata. Got as a free hand-me-down. Yeah. But if it doesn't, no matter who makes it, it doesn't have to be inexpensive. It can be expensive. I have ours is $5,000 in the back here, and it creates buckets of water in it all the time. So we have to drain our lines, the compressor, the water trap at the compressor, which is a huge one, the small water traps at the machines, and we live in Arizona where it's super dry. Because it's just the heat of the machine creates the condensation. The more moisture that's in the air, the more that can accumulate along that. But since it's a controlled and the environment is sealed in a perfect world, it matters less about how the outside world is. It's the heat that the motor generates as it's working. Because that air that comes out of there is not cold, right? It's warm. It's going to be warmer than ambient temperature in the air at some point, and that's going to create condensation. So you want a water trap and get yourself a gauge so you can see what's happening with it to make sure it's not fluctuating, to make sure the compressor's doing its job right too. Because an older compressor can do to where you're watching the needle, and even when you start spraying, if you just hold the button down and do continuous air, you might see it kind of wiggle a couple of PSI back and forth the older the machine gets, depending on if it's pistonless or it probably is pistonless, right? And you can see it vary its pressure. That's going to wreak havoc with you as you're trying to spray and learn, because you might be getting less, more, and that happens with the paint too. So the thinner you go, that causes issues.
What it for sure is an ice cream place, but they also had like 20 different kinds of cereal, and they had it on the menu that you could get a bowl of cereal with milk. Compressor is the only source of moisture for keeping Gabe and Christopher alive during the day.
They can drink water.
You have to ration it though.
They'll be fine.
I feel like people think we're very mean to those guys. I don't feel like we're very mean to those guys.
Compressor water.
I think I'm going to use faded plum with the burgundy as a tint. See how that goes.
It is also 3:30.
$3.30.
3:30. Time is flying by.
Oh yeah, that's the right mix.
So that is now like 3 political text messages I've gotten today.
Just while sitting here on stream?
Where I have had to go in and I instantly block and delete.
That time.
It's only August 26th, so I feel like this is going to be the start of a nightmare.
Yeah. Yep. Just want to see more pictures of cool painted models. That's what I want. Social media, give me more of that. I'm saying it because I know you're listening.
Text messages to my personal phone.
This is your personal phone?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Do you not get those?
No.
You don't get any text saying, who are you going to vote for?
Nope.
Or, we want to talk to you about the issues.
Nope.
Are you a registered voter?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Constantly.
Hmm.
I got one last week from a candidate in Ohio wanting to talk to me about the issues.
That one was funny when she's
wanted
telling
to talk to me about
it.
the issues that that he's going to solve in Ohio and how they'll affect me. I'm like,
I don't live in Ohio.
I don't think they're going to affect me at all because I live in Arizona.
You gotta do a real good job to convince me that your problems in Ohio are gonna affect me here in Arizona.
I sent Jen a message earlier. And she didn't respond to me. But I had a woman.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
I had a woman send me text this morning. Let's see if I can remember. Her name starts with an E. I don't remember what it was.
Amanda.
No, I was Amanda.
Oh.
Her name was. I forget. Started with an E. But this woman's texting me this morning, saying, "Hey Amanda, are you still in Arizona? I'm visiting Phoenix in a couple of weeks." And I was like, I had a little fun with it. I am in Arizona. I'm not Amanda.
Oh, so you engaged with this? Like you participated in the conversation?
Yes. Well, the first one said, "I'm coming to Phoenix. Are you still in Arizona? I'm coming to Phoenix next week or in 2 weeks. Are you still in Arizona?" Just a number I didn't recognize, right? Just a message. And I said, I am. Who's this?
Oh, gotcha.
Right? Because I have friends from New York and California and all over the place that I'm like, this could be somebody I know. It's odd that I didn't recognize the name because I don't know that my phone contacts list has ever dropped anybody like that. But anyway,
but whatever.
So yes, I engaged and said, hey, I am still here. Who is this? And she said, whoever, and Esther or whatever, and started calling me Amanda, and how great it was going to be to see me. And I said, "Oh, sorry, yeah, wrong number, not Amanda." She goes, "Oh, you're Amanda." She goes, I always have kept this number in my phone correctly. And I said, "Nope." That's all I said, "Nope." And she goes, "Why would you lie to me? Amanda, come on, it's me." And she had this whole conversation with me where I was just going, "Nope." Nope. Then I blocked it. So.
Amanda, reckon with.
Yeah.
You could just say, "I am a man." Duh.
That is actually really funny.
Yeah, I figured if it was a bot or something like that, I was like not going to engage with it in a way that was like any information. But they never asked for any information or anything.
Ghost Hunter said, whenever random people text me, I mess with them as much as I possibly can. I always want to, but then they're bots. I just know they're bots. And my friends do. And they always send screenshots. And I always like, I really wish I could, but I'm not going to do it. But then the Ohio one, I did respond because I was mad. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, I don't live in Ohio. How do you even have my information? And T. Schmidt said that when he gets them, they say names like Giovanni or, some other name. These are all Jennifer. Like this one that I deleted it already, but it was, "Hi, Jennifer. Sorry we missed you. We stopped by to talk to you about the upcoming election. How do you feel about these issues?" And then it listed all these issues and wanted me to respond. I'm like, nope, not going to do that. Yeah, they're all. I assume they're all bots.
100%.
Brutal Burrito ordered a water trap with a gauge. Awesome.
Good.
Derpstick said, on the topic of dry and wet pasta sauce, in Mexico we have
We're back
soup.
here.
Yeah, we have a soup that can be served in a tomato broth or dry with tomato sauce. The sauce sticks to the noodles, so almost no leftover sauce. Yeah, same kind of thing, right? You had the FBI call you last year due to a wrong number, Paint Liquor? What?
How did they get the wrong number?
Just like anybody else.
I mean, I guess so.
Butt dial. Fat fingers. Happens to everyone.
Well, I guess,
The government ain't impervious to problems.
dysfunctional.
Duh.
Clearly not.
Dysfunctional.
Duh. Have you been paying attention?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Assuming the FBI has the right number is a little bit of a stretch.
You're not wrong. I would even argue that it's a bit of a stretch.
TSA still has us take our shoes off, for crying out loud.
Fuker wants to know if you have a recipe for dead flesh.
For dead flesh?
Yeah. I assume you mean a painting recipe. I feel like we maybe want to clarify that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Well, if you sprinkle
Fish,
a
chicken,
little
or
salt
beef?
in it.
I usually use steak seasoning. See, there we go. Well, do I ever?
Are we talking about like
Slap
dead
it on the
human
grill.
flesh? Are we trying to do like Walking Dead zombies? Are we trying to do like
Yeah, heavily season it.
Death Guard?
Lots of salt.
What kind of dead flesh are we going for? Because yeah, there's tons of ways to do dead flesh. Most of them would love to have purples and greens as base coats, and then layer your flesh tones over the top as you see fit. That's how I tend to start.
Said corpse flesh.
Yeah, so greens like camo green that has some yellow. The yellow greens are great for that. And then layer flesh tones over the top. And when you go with the flesh tones, the lighter the better to give it that pale, lifeless look. Up to and including like olive flesh if you're using the Procurl line. Right. What's the last thing that we did that was dead flesh? This guy. He's not highlighted up all the way yet, but this is a lot of bright warm gray layered up over the top of dark purple and red oxide and yellow green, right, to give kind of a bruised feel. So that creates that kind of undead feel, a little more lifelike because it used a little bit more red because he's a living vampire, unliving vampire.
Usharon would be a really good example if they
What's
wanted.
that?
Usharon would be a really good example if they wanted to go check and watch some of the.
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
old
The
live stream.
Usharon stuff that I did
That's
is
sitting
a
on
great way to do dead flesh.
Philip's desk right
Philip's got it on his desk, but
But if you go back to our live tab, that was after we were already on YouTube, right?
yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, if you go to the live tab and you go back, 3 or 4 months, you'll see Jason painting up Usharon. You'll see it as the thumbnails. And
If you don't know who Usharon is, it's the big ghoul king
Yes,
from
thank you.
Age of Sigmar.
Yep. He's a big kind of hunched over guy with a mace, and he's got a big old gross hand sticking out. So that's a really good one for exactly what Jason's talking about, because he did all those things. Really great underpainting tutorial as well, if you watch through that stuff, because you did a whole bunch of really cool underpainting on him.
Yep.
That model looked wild before you started putting all the skin on top of it, or the flesh tones.
Yeah, the thing with learning how to underpaint is that it really takes the guesswork out of that kind of stuff, because you can just say, okay, well, I just need to make all of the colors underneath more pronounced, because you're already painting skin with purples and greens and such that are part of flesh tones, and you're just letting more of those show when you do undead skin or zombie dead flesh. You're letting more of the purples, yellows, greens show through. And once you've done it a couple times, it becomes really simple to pull off.
Also kind of fun to do. It's really entertaining to have that sort of process and go through the process of building up all the colors underneath first and then layering color on top. Really neat. If you've never tried it before, I definitely recommend that you give it a shot.
You'll see me do it a lot.
Yep.
Back when I was learning to paint miniatures, the only people that painted miniatures were people that also painted canvas and normal painting in most cases. And so I picked up a lot of the flair of how you would build colors up on a canvas. And a lot of times underpainting, I call it, would be a way to do that. They call it like verdaccio and faded plum with the burgundy makes a really good burgundy highlight. I won't be able to go any brighter, so I don't normally like these kind of mixes because I like to be able to continue to add the tint color in to get brighter and brighter. And on this one, I will run out of brightness with the faded plum color, but it's for this first stage of highlight, it's great. And depending on what I want to do, I might be able to just take it to like pink after this. For all the people that always yell at me for not using enough pink. I don't think the faded plum on itself, it'll be too blue, I think, for where I want to go with this in the final stages.
Philip said, I always get verdaccio when I fly.
That's not a thing.
That's me.
Paint liquor, you did. I said that just for you.
So thanks, Fuse.
I don't always paint pink, but when I do, I blame it on paint liquor. You'll accept the blame. I didn't think that would be a problem for you.
Mo said, I came back to my computer from the other side of the yard because I thought Fuse said pink.
He did.
Got bad news for you, buddy.
They were summoned.
I'm thinking pink is the right highlight for this that I'm doing. I want to have a little bit more shine. So probably going to use pink. Not pale pink. That's too bright. I could either do that, or I could do white blue into the burgundy if I really want to go with just a desaturated version of the burgundy. I thought about that for this highlight, but I think that the faded plum works a lot better to keep it on hue.
Nick wants to know if you still use reference images when you paint, or if you just know light and color interplay after so many years of painting, like muscle memory.
Most of it is muscle memory for me. I do still use references when I want to pull something specific off that's a little outside my wheelhouse, or something that I'm like, you know, honestly, a lot of times my references are like, what the hell is this model?
Well, and then...
And I'll go look at it so that I can see what all the bits and pieces are.
But like the one you did recently where you looked up the eye.
Oh, yeah, the eye
like
for the
salamander,
Nova
wasn't it?
trainer, right? I wanted to see different types of reptile eyes because I didn't feel like I wanted to just paint the slit snake eye looking thing. So we went and looked up a reptile eye, and I found a frog that had this crazy eye that we went in
So
and
freaky.
stippled a bunch of stuff on. I'm gonna zip in here like that, right? So it had like these yellow dots stippled on it, so I went in and did that. So that was from a reference because I just, didn't have a good understanding of what I wanted to do and what a reptile I didn't want to paint like a human eye with a white sclera. That would be a little too uncanny valley. So I did something like that. So that was a reference. So, but for me, usually it's when I'm like, hey, I need an idea for such and so, and lighting and texture most of the time, I'm just do it from experience.
Experience and
There's very rare that I'll see anything here that makes me think, runs me into a texture I haven't encountered or don't have a good idea of. Not that it can't happen. Sometimes stuff still takes me by surprise.
So it was good when working on stuff that's like very specific that you're trying to replicate, like that eye, or you're trying to, like, for me, if I'm painting like fur on a dog or something like that, I might look up the particular breed of dog to see how the fur lays on the on the model, on like what direction the fur grows in, so I can like paint the fur going in the right direction. I did that on Lockjaw.
Yeah, Lockjaw.
I looked that up to see how, like, what direction fur grows on the face of a dog, which is not a thing that you'd ever really think about until you're like, I want to paint it. And then you're like, well, it can't all just go in one direction. And it turns out it doesn't. Kind of goes in a lot of different directions depending on where it is on the face, which is really cool. And once you do that sort of stuff, you start to get those sort of things stuck in your head. So next time you do it, you're like, oh, well, that's how that should look. Or you're like, oh, it's a different kind of dog. Let me look. And then you start to build up this compilation of interesting knowledge and facts in your brain that you use to formulate what these things look like without having to have reference all the time.
There it is.
He's doing it.
There it is.
Chad, he's doing it. Pink. I never thought we'd see the day.
Wait a minute. There's a whole pink bear over there
I know, I'm just making fun of you.
that I pretty much painted with red transparent.
There was pink on it.
and burgundies or magentas.
Wasn't it hot pink too?
Magentas and,
Yeah.
the dark hot pink.
That dark hot pink is something else. It is so good. But sometimes you just need a really nice bright pink. And now's the time for Jason. Nick from Grey Primer did that for Timberwolf recently, as I realized I had no idea where to start with color choices. Yep, that's a good one too. The weird thing is, and it kind of benefits us because a lot of the stuff that we work on is all make-believe, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. It's like Jason's painting a model that's got a goat head. So does the goat head have to look exactly like a goat head? Not necessarily. But
His parents hope so.
likely, but you never know. You might just have a weird looking goat head. Like a goat with no fur. Could be weird. But to that point, you could also use it for reference on like what the horns would look like, and that'll give you a really good idea of where the textures should go, what the colors should be, that sort of thing. But if you painted a gajillion horns in your life, then you can go, well, I got a pretty good idea of how I want this to look, and even if it's not 100% correct, I'm painting a mystical animal anyways. If he's a bit sheepy, there will be awkward questions at the dinner table.
more of a stippling edge highlight, as you can see. Although a lot of it I'm doing with like little quick slashes to give it a little bit more of a roughed up edge. Something that feels like maybe the cloth is a little threadbare.
Who's out there in the swishy pants?
What's that?
Someone's out there in like swishy pants. They're like
It's like that.
like parachute pants.
Yeah. Alrighty. Now you are coming along.
And after I've got the initial kind of texture on the highlight done, I'll come back with a thinner version of the pink and do the actual area highlight, I guess we'll call it.
There's a human father and a goat mother. I bet the extended family on the goat side all hoped he would take after his mother. Came to life. Never surprises me in the least. You say a bunch of silly stuff. Been a long week today.
It's been a long week today. I am with you on that one. Trust me. I did not wake up this morning and put on the right underwear for the type of Monday it's been. The Magic Mormon Underguard, they don't work. They don't defer Mondays. I will go with game delay on that one. And I don't have any anyway. I don't get the secret Mormon handshake stuff, even though I live in the state with the second largest Mormon population on the planet, I think. They still keep a tight lip on all that stuff.
You be bringing this guy along with you? to the show, Jason?
I'll probably bring him to Nova.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the list of possibilities. I will figure that out like I do at the last freaking minute, I'm sure.
Only Scientology can save you from Mondays.
Help me, Tom Cruise.
Help me, Tom Cruise. Oh, no.
Ghost Hunter, you need to cancel your purchase on eBay. What, the underwear? You were looking forward to next Mondays? You trying to buy some magical underwear? This Monday just needed heavy duty underwear.
Until I came up with a follow-up question. How many types of underwear do you have? And what do you use them for?
Well, there's the standard everyday use, hold on to your butts style underwear, where you assume that it's, business as usual, but you could still be prepared for a little bit of curveball. And then you've got the heavy duty, right? Where you're planning for what's ahead.
You wake up in the morning, you're like, this is not a good Monday for my tummy. I'm gonna put on the special pair of underwear just in case.
Well, I'm not talking about dietary or issues like that.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm talking about what the world is about to do to you.
The events of the day. Do you find gents have suggestions for painting something to appear iridescent with irregular paints?
Yes!
Jason's done it.
I think lately I typically show the wings on Dante that I did. Right? Because this is all done with just underpainting again, dark purple, jade, warm yellow, right? And there's probably, I think, some magenta or pink in there. I think it was magenta. So dark purple, jade, you can see the jade, you can see the dark purple, you can see the magenta, you can see the warm yellow giving the warmth throughout all of this, right? And then transparent white over all it. Or you can just thin down titanium white and do it, right? Transparent white is the better choice because right out of the bottle, you just start airbrushing or brushing it on, and you'll build it up in layers because it will never be as opaque. But titanium white you can do too by just thinning it way down and get a very similar result. And that gives you that way to do like a pearlescent, iridescent. This is done with white, so a lot of times it looks like, a little bit more mother of pearlish or whatever. But you get a lot of fluctuation of color. Like there you see jade up there, but when you turn it, all that color changes because of the way that the pigment reacts. So that works really well. It's just layering paint on top of other colors and going thinner and thinner as you go towards your last color is the way to do it. A lot of people will show you painting a color and then trying to glaze all of those other colors into it, and that tends to look like you spilled fruit juice all over the thing. So it's better to underpaint with those colors, but use vibrant colors. When you're underpainting, you want to use colors that are way more vibrant than you actually want them to look on the model because you're about to desaturate them by putting paint over the top. So that's why you'll see whenever I paint, like you were mentioning when I was painting Usharan, he looked like a clown, right? Very bright green, yellows, and yellow greens, and I used the brighter magentas, the dark hot pinks, and things like that to where you look at it, you're like, what the hell am I looking at? Because then when you put the flesh tones over, or you put the white over, or whatever color you're about to layer over the top, it drags all of those down. Regardless if you put white over it, and white's a brighter color than any of the colors you painted, it still desaturates and hides them. And so they will become much darker visually than they started out.
So anytime you're underpainting, always go with colors that are brighter than you thought you wanted. Otherwise, if you go with darker colors, they eventually fade away into obscurity. They just become shadows and they have very little color to them at all, and that may not be what you're looking for. That can also be a really neat hint of color, right? That's why we do things like dark purple and shadows. We don't really want to see a lot of the purple. We just want it to be a hint. So starting with a dark color as your shadows, but having it be a little cooler than black or grays or browns can help a lot with giving that cooled off shadow. Like on my, well, we did it on this guy, right? So this guy, when we look at him, doesn't read as having a ton of purple to him, but when you look at the shadows, there's a ton of purple there, right? So it adds just a little bit of flair, so you don't read as a ton of pigment, but it still gives the effect we're looking for at the end of the day.
Sapphire Dragon, thank you for the follow.
The Punisher with a Prime. 47 months. Let's go.
Old one.
Oh, I wasn't sure if we...
Usharon in a storm drain. We all float down here. Yeah, those are Indrasta's wings on Dante that I used.
The wings that are the most universal and super...
They're just kind of
wings.
scaled right for all those models, right?
Yeah.
You can get away. I mean, they'd even be better than Sanguinius's wing for Sanguinius.
Yeah.
Because the Forge World Sanguinius is horrible.
God. Ugh. The model is so weird. Alright. You still gonna be going, or is that...
Nope, Jensen Germs, we're done.
Jensen Germs, that's it.
We
Thank
have
you
reached
guys.
the magical hour. It is 4 o'clock here in Arizona, and that's the time we quit. Don't worry. If you're new around here, hit that follow button. We stream 5 days a week. This week will only be 3 because we have the Nova Open Convention in Washington, D.C., where Jordan and I will both be there through the weekend. Jordan will be leaving us. This will be the last time you see him for a week, so say goodbye to Jordan.
Bye.
I will be here both tomorrow and Wednesday with Jen, and we will be horsing around, having some fun and painting, and then I will be gone Thursday and Friday and Monday for the holiday because it's Labor Day on Monday. But yeah, hit that follow button. Get all of our alerts. Check out all the links that Jen put in chat there. The store at monumenthobbies.com where you can pick up some pink.
We're gonna pick up some pink.
Go buy a bottle of pink or any of our other amazing Protocrow colors. And we will pass you off to someone else. Make sure to join the Discord where we have 4,674 cereal sauce from Utter Juice. Wait a minute.
Cereal.
Enjoyers.
I
It's Utter Juice cereal sauce enjoyers is the way that would normally be said. Fired from the marketing job there, but great.
does not sound
Great idea of catching it. And we're all going to go drink some Utter Juice cereal sauce. But hang out. We're going to find a way to get you some more hobby content as we find somebody to raid. Show some love in that channel when you get there, and we will catch you on the flip side.
It's gonna be next level painting.
Let's go.
Adios, gang.
Bye.
See you guys.